بكم مشاهدين منبر صوت الشعب أينما كنتم، وسعيدين أن نلتقي بكم في هذه الأمسية. نقول لكم صباح الخير وصباح النور ومساء الخير حسب المواقع المختلفة. Good evening and good morning. All of you are highly welcome to the show. أنا هنا طبعا الليلة أنا ناقش واحد من القضايا المهمة بالنسبة لنا في جنوب السودان، وهي طبعا قاعدين نعتبرها قضية مفصلية في استقرار السياسي لجنوب السودان. فيا ريت الناس القاعدين لعدي مع الضيوف بتاعنا، طبعا الليلة أنا نستضيف ضيوف الحلقة، يا ريت كل واحد يعمل شير للحلقة. نستضيف 4 ضيوف في الحلقة بتاعت الليلة. نستضيف باشمهندس دومينيك أكواي، وكذلك هنا نستضيف أستاذ فيليمون توم داود، وبرضو نستضيف مولانا تريزا ليلى، وأيضا نستضيف أستاذ لويجي أجاك. So welcome everyone to the show. مرحبا بكم جميعا، ويا ريت كل واحد منكم يعمل شير للايف. You look great today باشمهندس.
يا اخي thank you very much.
بعدين نقول لك good morning يا اخي، ولا لسه ما وصلت الصباح؟
والله احنا في مورنينج نمن بغاري كمان.
ده كلام جميل جدا. ده معناه ده توقيت جميل جدا.
يا احنا هسه مع الساعة 4 الصباح.
يا والله معلش، اول حاجه نعتذر انه انا هنا قومناك من النوم بدري، وده عشان قضيه بتاعت جنوب السودان. بنشكرك ومرحبا بك. خليك تسلم على الناس.
يا اخي thank you very much my brother Edward. Indeed it's a morning here, so from my world I will say good morning to the rest of you people, and wherever you are, I'll say to you also, whether that's an evening or night. But in the onset, let me take this opportunity also to greet you all, the viewers of Voice of the Forum, and we are eager to see to it that we have a very fruitful discussion as we go along on this important but yet another issue that is actually posing a setback to the implementations of the agreement. We all know that the 100 days that was been set as a precedent by the antagonistic sides is elapsing, and if people didn't really put these matters into perspective, then we are likely to see either a recall for another negotiation or actually the collapse of the 100 days itself. So I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and I'll wait for the others so that we can be able together to have a very fruitful discussion.
Welcome brother Dominic again. وأنا هنا طبعا زي ما أنا قلت قبل في المقدمة إنه إننا 4 we have 4 guest speakers, and after that we'll open the floor to those they want to come in. We suppose brother Midit Majak, Lagos State, is supposed to be one of the speakers, but actually he told me he's working and maybe he will come late and he will join us. So if he join us late, that is fine. Actually, also there is one of the Lagos State here, the pro-government brother Peter Kenyi, and if you are ready also, you will be welcome to join the discussion. مرحبا باشمهندس. أنا زي ما أنا قلت قبل شوية للناس إنه الرد بتاع دكتور لام is a critique لكلام اللي قدمه الكتبه سانتينو، وما أشار للمواد بتاع القانون. في بعض النقاط there is some issues out of the topic. I need to go over them, but it's not now. We can go over them by then. بعد ما نحن نجي نناقش الكلام ده. The discussion على نحن دايرين قبل ما انت before you just go in and look into what have been put out by Dr. Santino and read بتاع دكتور لاماكولا جاوين. أنا دايرك نحن زادنا للجنوبين نقاش بتاع الليلة دايرين ناخذ راحتنا يا وصل النقاش ده يكون ساعتين هذه الساعة 10. but قبل ما تجي افتكر you will be المتحدث الاساسي بعد داك ناس تريزا ممكن لو في اي زول ثاني داير يخش فيهم they will come in Luigi and they add للحوار اللي انت هتبداه. انا ذاتنا دايرين نشوف الفكره the ideas بتاع 32 ولايه او بتاع 28 ولايه جات من وين؟ انت وانا ناس لويجي كلنا كنا في جنوب السودان when we were following closely the political situation in the country. الاضافه لذلك اللجنه لانه الهيديه زي ده يفترض يتم تكوين له لجنه يدرس الموضوع بتاع الولايات. انا هنا ما سمينا مثلا الناس بيقولوا انه لو مثلا الشغله دي جات البرلمان وينه اسامي بتاع عضويه بتاع اللجنه اللي يفترض يكون هم اللي جابوا الايدياز بتاع ال 32 ولايه وحاجه عندها باك جراوند ومدروس وعلى اسس علميه. مرحبا بك باشمهندس دومينيك. You can feel free to speak in English. Don't.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think from the onset, let me thank you once more, and then let me also thank or welcome the other guys in an anticipation that as they come. You know, this matter is a very important one, and let me also thank Dr. Lamakola Jawin for his academical response. I know all of them are PhD holders, all of them are academics. However, from the onset, let me make it very clearly that the response of Dr. Lamakol was true to the effect in the fact that it was able to not only reacted to the critique, but he was able to put things into perspective with regards to the constitution of the Republic of South Sudan. Because all of us, if we wanted to do something in South Sudan, then we have to withdraw our legislature from the instruments of the law, and the instruments of this law, for that matter, is the constitution itself. Now, if you looked, that is what we wanted to make it very clearly from the onset, that the 28 vis-a-vis 32 state, and the 10 state. If you look and watch critically as to why it was made in a rushy way, you could come and understand that indeed there are actually some vested interest. This vested interest actually lies in the interests of the groups of Kiir and his company, because there is no any other matter that will continue to justify the rushiness with which the 32 state is made, unless you wanted to violate the agreement, because the agreement was authored on the basis of the 32 state, 10 state.
10 state, yes.
And in the agreement, like what Dr. Lamak have said in chapter 1 and of the agreement, that talks about the divisions of the power, because there were 10 states, and the 3 states of Upper Nile, unity, the Upper Nile, former Upper Nile region, by virtue of that agreement, is supposed to be under the administrations of the IO people. Now, this one does not resonate well with some of these folks, and that is why, when the agreement was abrogated in that dogfight in Juba, So they very quickly came out with a mechanism that they can be able to deter whatever it is in this agreement. Now, but if you look at the backdrop of the intention is also people wanted to have representative roles within the upcoming setup that, because if you look into the 32 states, there were a number of states that were being given to particular region by enlarging the cake. What is called the cake, people anticipated that they would be expecting to have a lot of the political participation in terms of the number of the MPs, that will be in the parliament in Juba. And democracy is always the dictatorship of the majority. And if you have a majority of people within the parliament, then you can mechanically control this house. We have seen this thing in the House of Representatives in America, where Donald was impeached as a result of the mechanical majority of the Democrats. And these are some of the things that the framers of the 32 states are anticipating at the end of the day, that if they have a mechanical majority that will be controlling the House, then whatever they wanted to do in terms of their plan will go forward. But they don't know that this is a plan that is against an agreement that was altered, by another side. And if you are to do that, then you are expecting, or you will be expecting a resistance. You will be expecting a resistance. So in a nutshell, that is my understanding with regards to the behaviors of the framers of the 32 states with regards to where they have come from, But now the other thing that brought us into this discussion, to react on the responses of the likes of Dr. Ayuel and Lama Kol was this notion that indeed, if a lie is supposed to surface for a long time in an arena, then it will be construed something.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is what Lama Kol did, and I really salute him for it, because he has academically managed to challenge the decisions. Because if he wanted to open a corridor, for example, for the elites of a particular group to come and now defend, a generalization that is actually wrong to its true, meaning. I know as a PhD, you become part and parcel of a community, of a group of scientists. It has obligations and also rights that you are going to enjoy. But for you to come and defend something, by using a generalization that is not true, also justify that something somewhere is not wrong. And now this will talk to us that indeed we are tribally oriented in our setups. We are tribal oriented in our mind. No matter where you have studied, no matter what academic qualification you have attained, the thesis has always been that we are parochial and we look from a narrow tribal lens, because there is no any justification. And like what Pierre Lumumba said, that the tragedy of Africa is that when we look at our own son in the hell, we don't borrow the wisdom to tell him that this thing is wrong, what he has done is wrong. But what we normally quickly do is that we try to celebrate him, and we celebrate him from the headsman in the village to the intellectuals, because then he is our son. You see, so these are some of the things that we wanted. I wanted to lament it, as we go, before actually we started to learn on the some of the justification that he has given, which Lama Kol himself has managed to question. And the question is scientifically, educatively, academically, through the constitution, you know, which actually sets towards the lowest common multiple of any decision that we are doing or we are supposed to be doing in a country that is called ours. Yeah.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So if you look at the argument that was put forward by Santino or Ayuel, you know, the stroke of the pen mantra vis-a-vis the popular demand, because this is what actually he wanted to cement, you know, and that without prejudice of the Article 59G and 62, paragraph 3 and 4, you know, which vested the changing. Yeah, welcome, Teresa.
Welcome.
Because these two articles of this constitution, and a lawyer is here, he will come and talk about these smaller details of the articles. But if you read along these lines, you know, the interest is vested on the parliament. You know, the creation is vested on the Council of State.
Yes.
And that if you wanted to annul, you wanted to change, you wanted to make suggestions on the names and the borders of the state, then you have to do it through the Council of the State, and that it is the Council of the State that is actually supposed to pass it in a 2/3 majority.
Majority, correct.
Very clear.
Correct.
You know, there's nothing here that even if it says that the president can initiate, it doesn't say that
yes.
the president, you know, has the final authority, you know, because the competence is not the competency of the president, it is the competences of the House. So the president has to initiate, and what Lam argue thereafter is that even if there's only one circumstances, and this circumstances is when the parliament is on a recess.
Yes.
But during that time, the parliament was not on recess.
Yes.
The parliament was on full swing. So there is no any justification for the president to come and say that, you know, he has to, and even so.
And that one to continue is Article 86(1).
I can't hear you, Edward. I can't hear you, but I can hear Brother Dominic.
Are you hearing me, Dominic?
I'm hearing you loud and clear, but Sister Teresa says it's not. Not hearing you.
Anna, I don't know. Teresa, I don't know why you are not hearing me.
Can you say again? Can you talk, Edward? Can you speak?
I'm saying I'm hearing you, but I don't know why you are not hearing me. Actually, I'm hearing you.
Maybe I should go out and come back again, or?
Okay, yeah. I'm hearing you actually. For those they want to come in, Abel, the link is down there. After the speaker, I will give you a chance so you can come in. To continue, brother engineer Dominic, the provisional orders, Article 86, in case the national legislature is not in session, the president may, on an urgent matter, issue an provisional order having the force of law. Continue. But the parliament, you continue, Wasam, yeah.
Yeah, and then if it has to be within a period of time. It has to be brought to the parliamentarians' attention so that they can be able to vet it. And if they did not actually, you know, later agree on it, then it also annuls. So what I wanted to say is that it is actually the you know, the prerogative of the parliamentarians, and indeed the Council of State. And so arguing that because the agreement can be initiated or legislated as per Article 110F, which requires the parliamentarian concerned to pass it into a law, also does not make sense, because such initiation was brought into the parliament and they have to deliberate on it so that this degree gets legitimacy of the law. So if the president does not bring these things to the parliamentarian for a discussion, then it doesn't have the force of the law. So
correct.
you cannot come and say that at the end of the day, the president has got the right by the constitution or through the 100F, which are the powers of the constitution to come and initiate something. That doesn't make sense. And then his argument that the people were consulted, for the order to say that the people were consulted. That the law has its domain on the public, and it is the public that need to be consulted, and that is its constitutional right. It doesn't make sense because you were saying.
Tereza, Samene?
Yes,
yeah.
I can hear both of you, and I can see also both of you. Before I cannot see Dominic.
Yeah.
Okay, that is good. Welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. It is good that now you can hear and you can see both of us. To tell that, the people has to be consulted. So that at least at the end of the day, people talk of the popular demand and like trying to give the people of South Sudan or try to reach to the emotions of the people of South Sudan that they are very important in the political processes of this country doesn't make sense, because when he was making the decree number 36 of 25 2015, they did not consult the people of South Sudan. And even if Ambrose Ring said he has been consulted and he has added his 4 states.
Who is he?
As part and partial of his vested interest, does not legitimize that the people of South Sudan are consulted. No, this is just a crappy thing,
Yes.
And he was talking about the introduction of the TB, and this is what Lama vividly argued it out. That in 2018, the TBC and the IBC agreement was to break this and partial. That was created as a result of the adamancy of the government over this hurdle. But if you look at the IBC and if you look at the resolutions of the TBC, they have said they have voted this 7-4 mantra thing.
Yes.
If you take into consideration the laws of voting, if 4 people voted against 7 people, then the majority wins.
Right. 6 voted against 4.
Yes, 6 voted against 4.
Yeah, and even the C5, the 4 of them, they recommended going back to 10 states based on the data they received from South Sudanese. Continue.
Exactly, and because the agreement has the legitimacy, because the agreement of 2005 was actually incorporated into the Constitution. It was being seconded by the Security Council, and it has the force of the international law. This is what Lama Cole argued, And now, and one interesting thing that Lama Cole said, which the guy said that if the IBC failed to accomplish its work, when we all know that it has not failed, then we will have to turn to the referendum. That is their argument, that we have to go to the referendum. Now, by buying into this argument of the fact that the IBC have failed to assume its duly responsible mandate, and that now this thing has to be turn to the people, is just another mechanical way of trying to force an argument, to be effective or to take its course, because we know the IBC have not failed. And that is why when Lam was arguing that assume that the IBC decided to accept the notions of the 28 states, and that people are not to go back to the 10 states, will they still have a valid argument to say, well, no? This one will tell us that what the likes of Santino is trying to do is that they wanted to argumentally force something into the minds of the people by trying to use a legal knowledge, not knowing that, people all know and can understand, the laws and the limits to which a law is going to be factored. Now, the claim of the author that the third party claims false the scope of the agreement is also misleading, because the agreement has the grantors.
Yes.
And the grantors mandate were very clear in the agreement. When you look at the JMEC, the formations of the JMEC,
yes.
When you look at the IBC, these bodies are not just made out of the blue. These people came because all of us were having an issue, and we cannot be able to resolve this issue amicably. The only way we can be able to resolve these issues amicably by them coming and giving us suggestions. Now, once that we have accepted these suggestions, then we are obliged by the act of penning this agreement to respect it, to implement it, to the letter and the spirit. That's the only thing that I have agreed with Santini, because he was saying that for us to go forward, the parties to the agreement has to implement this agreement in a letter and a spirit. Now, the letter and the spirit of the agreement does not necessarily turn amount to the fact that the president has to violate the agreement and they have to clap and chorus for him. Hallelujah. No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay?
Okay.
Now, one thing that he has talked also is the issue of the colonial boundaries. And this year, we need to make it abundantly clear.
Clear, correct.
To the supporters of the regime in Juba. Because I have heard many a times they are coming and saying that even the 10th state was an initiation of the Jalaba. We
Yes.
did not came up with the 10th state. This is pathetically wrong, because and I agree with them. Not everything that the colonials have done is wrong.
Yes.
There are other things that we have, they are good. We need to give due respect where it is concerned. But
Correct.
even if they were wrong, we were supposed to initiate our own. From 2011, what did we do? Instead of authoring a constitution that can create checks and balance, that can lay a foundation for a system of governance that the people of South Sudan have been demanding from time immemorial. The guys went and framed this constitution, giving the president, including but not limited with the 10th state. You see? So the 10th state thing, if it was bad, we would have sit and we would have come with our own. But we did not come. In fact, we adopted this 10. Mushkila when, so long you have adopted it, you have to live with it. And then the argument that this thing is a 60-year-old administrative boundaries that we don't have to depend on it. The administrative boundaries of the colonial eras did not annex land of other other indigenous people to others. Which is actually a sense of conflict. So what is better about this thing? Your 32 state mantra thing managed to take land from other communities. And you are
given to the other community.
And annex it to another community.
A potential area of a conflict, because we fought a war, and we fought a war because of the land. So everybody whose land has been taken, whether these people are in Raja, whether these people are in Malakal, Sholo, whether these people are in Amadi, whether these people are in Barakazal areas of Awil or in Rueni state where this landed doctor came from, it will generate conflict, because land has always been the issue. So going forward from here, we are supposed to be very cumbersome by protecting, lands that belong, because the Constitution has very clearly said, that the land of South Sudan, I think it is Article something like 55,
Yes.
yeah, the land the territory of South, the land is vested in the people.
Right.
And it is the government can administrate it because the government has a protective role of defending the nation. But if the government has people, the government wants land, then he has to consult the people. He cannot just, take the land from the people without
I
consultation.
think that was
Otherwise,
in
it is unconstitutional.
170, Article 172. It's talking about the land. What you just mentioned, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
172.
thank you, Teresa.
Something, yeah. Yes, land and commission. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the population. I mean, he also said something that was not true.
171.
No, it's 169.
69.
Yeah, 169.
69, yeah. All the land in South Sudan is owned by the
Yes.
people of South Sudan, and its use shall be regulated by the government in accordance with the provision of this constitution and the law.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has to be regulated, not any other thing else.
It goes up to 171 as well. It starts from 169 and
Yes.
70
yes.
and then 71.
To 72, 71. Yeah.
Up to up to 70.
Yes, up to 71. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So he also said something that was not true because the population of South Sudan was not 3 million even during the time of the census. Now the census was done in Juba. We are all there.
Yes.
So we have the population of South Sudan is more than that. So I don't know how that one now to negate the population growth of the people of South Sudan from 1956. That is also not true. But I agree with him that indeed when South Sudan got independent, we are richer than Kenya. When it got its independent, in terms of men, educated person, and in terms of the resources. Had we used our resources of the land very well, we would have gone out of this issue of poverty. South Sudanese by now would have been a very prosperous country. But again, because of the malfunction system, that was created by Salva Kiir through the lack of respect of the constitution in and of itself, has created us a situation in which all of us are very poor now. Not only that, we ended up borrowing money from countries, and this money is not even seeing, anything. Now, for you to say that this is a popular demand that we have already seen earlier, it's claimed by the political establishment because the citizens were asking for counties and not states.
Yes.
This must be made abundantly clear.
Right.
That from 2005, a lot of, even our village, we were asking a county because there was a problem with our county, So the people of South Sudan were asking for a county. Now, had Salva Kiir done these things or granted it in 2005 and 2006, we wouldn't have reached into this situation. But the government of Kiir, continue to refuse, to accept the proposal of giving of people county. And not only that, if like what Riek Machar was saying during his interview with the Security Council, that if you wanted to make the issue of the 10 state and 21 state, which you actually refused, because the 21 state, based on the district of the colonial system, was actually a proposal that was brought on the table that you refused. Those of Michael Mackley was so adamant and arrogantly saying that we are not going to accept it. So what went wrong? You could have brought these things to us in the table so that at least we can be able to discuss it. Yeah, for these people to come and say that, there was a national dialogue in Juba, and the national dialogue has agreed and cemented that the people of us, especially in Equatoria, that is the 39th state, that was actually a suggestion and a proposal that we need to base our dealing based on on equity and equality. If there are 13 states in Upper Nile, there must be 13 states in Baragazal. There must be 13 states in Equatoria, so that at least at the end of the day you can have the same weighted average of members of parliament in the legislative assembly, so that mechanical majority that we have talked about earlier will never be realized. But otherwise, you will create an autocratic mechanical, bulldozing situation in the parliament, simply because you have a lot of people who are in the parliament and they are having a tribal incline,